Today, I'm gonna build a Lego Steampunk Lighthouse on a floating island with a little bit of storytelling. Hi everyone, welcome back to ABrickDreamer. Here we have the first part of a way bigger mock that I did this week in order to participate to Wandering Skies. If you follow my mock builder news, you know there is this steampunk contest going on. I already participated in previous edition, and this was the start of the build for the vignette category. So here I need to make one custom minifigure and a 8x8 vignette. So similar size as the regular habitat that I like to build on my channel, but of course we can go as high as you want. Last year, if you remember, in this category I built something way different, which was a flying machine. This is important for the story of this video, and later we will talk a little bit more about that. Anyway, this is the interior of the lighthouse. I'm going to show you a little bit the back side just to give you an idea of the color scheme, even though there are a little bit of extra details here that are not important at the moment, but because these are at the back actually of the lighthouse. So we have a lower floor, which is actually a sort of cave. You can see we have an access through the floor over here in the underground basement area. So my idea is that the character of this build is a sort of former military, and here in this basement is keeping all these former military stuff. So he has a uniform, he has a bag, he has a rifle, he has some letter, and I'm gonna add a little bit of extra details in the form of this container with a candle, and over there we can add also the hat of his uniform. That one is gonna probably gonna fall off soon. Moving to the base floor of this lighthouse, you can see I'm using some of these old style panels from the Pirates Imperial area. Over here I'm gonna add this map over there. Is not connected because there's no connection inside those panels. And then with brackets I build these sort of stairs with a little drawer at the back, and this is gonna connect to the anti-stats that I have at the back. This is possible because if you notice over here, I wanted to give this rounded shape. I have this rounded shape like this because I don't have any curved pieces in my collection to build a tower that big. So I had to brick build. So we are coming on the side and then turning, and then, from this side to over here we have the tiles. This is a basically 3x3 area all the way to the top. And that allows me to have that anti-stat to connect the stairs to go into the upper level. Of course, here we're gonna need to close this gap. So here I have a sort of carpet that is gonna cover up the bottom part. We have a couple of barrels here and some accessories. Of course, imagine this tower to come a little bit bigger on this side. So then coming up the stairs, then we can access the second floor. Over here, we have a little bit of more steampunk kind of details. We have some gears over there that are all connected to the top, as well as this pipe that connect to what will be on the top, the light of the lighthouse. Over here, just some simple railing. I have another drawer over there with some binoculars, a light, a watch, a painting over here, and I'm gonna also add here a little bed for the keeper of this lighthouse to spend the night. Over on the top, I created this sort of rounded shape light. Some color scheme is the same, so we have dark orange, is all parts from the tiny plants. We have this curved window in white, and then I have some gold details. This is gonna connect over here at the front, like so, nicely connected like this. Later you will see that when the lighthouse is finished, this is not gonna be properly centered, but because I have to fit everything in the 8x8 vignette category and not have any substantial overhang. To finish up a little bit of details, I'm gonna add a red bird over here on the top, and also a cat that is aiming and looking at the bird. Now, the only thing missing is our character. So here is the custom minifigure that I created. So as you can see, you might notice this is actually the same character from my build from last year. You can recognize the skin tone and the eyes. Of course, he's got much older now. He doesn't have just a mustache, but he has a full gray hair and beard. And you can see that he loses one hand and one leg. So what happened is that probably after years of flying, he crashed into this island, and now he became the keeper of this lighthouse. So he has his walking stick, his peg, and this is the submission for the vignette category. Now let's move it a little bit to the side, because then what I decided to do is that I wanted to put that one inside the actual island for participating to another category. So here is what I have. Actually, I'm going to show you some footage from my members vlog for Dreamers member. Initially, I walk around the base. So I did the base, a little bit of landscape to go around that. Then I build the sides of the tower, and then I raise it up at the end. So here I can show you the back side. I have two structures over here that elevated. These are actually modular. I can disconnect. But then I had to go back because I actually don't have the parts I needed to do this perfectly. So of course you can see that only two sides of the underside of this floating island are completed. And I actually connect all of these to that structure over there. So I cannot actually remove anymore the base from the rocks. So this is one solid chunk. And I just did this one that can be open in a way that I can access the basement that is going to be inside there. And nobody's going to do it. This is never going to display, never going to be played, but I thought it was a nice addition just for my own way of doing things. Over here, the landscape is nicely done. I'm going to show you in a moment what I did over here. But first, let's slide the vignette in. So this is going to slide through, and you can see that then the basement is going to be underneath, and everything is going to line up properly here with the first and then the second floor of the lighthouse. So here we have mostly green landscape. I didn't do it too nicely because, as you can see, I'm running out of any kind of slopes and plates in regular green in my inventory. That's because probably a lot of those are still with my Star Wars Japanese diorama vignette that is still on display. So I have a lot of green parts over there. I will probably have to pick it up again soon. You can see over here on the left side, I did a little bit of light gray rock creation. I'm using some ball joints to create a little bit of an interesting structure going towards the left side of the island. Over here, I'm gonna add a little entrance. So we have one room here at the front. This is also modular, connect on some jumper. The door can be open. And you can see over here, I have the pieces of the flying machine from last year. So I went and look at the picture. I sort of recreate some parts of it, and not everything, just in a way that is broken down. Like if it crashed over here, you can see also the soil came up around. And then some of the parts of this has been used throughout the lighthouse. So it did some maintenance. For example, this one, it was a part of the original flying machine, as well as this golden roof on top, and some other accessories that you can find inside here. They were already in last year's submission. So, for example, now we can put our character over here outside, okay, looking at the horizon, and we can continue building up. So I did another couple of modular walls. They are actually very fragile, so this would in no way pass the regular official Lego guidelines for playability. This is all very fragile because I don't have the right parts to finish this off properly. So there's been a lot of compromises has been made. This one at the front is a little bit more solid. This is going to connect at the bottom and here at the top. So you can see everything aligned nicely. I can close this over here. And here you can see we have this one that can open to come out on the roof to access the light. Inside on this wall, I actually have a ladder that can access the top floor. Here you can see I have the printed one of those panels from the old Imperial Pirates era. And then again with the same color scheme and these slopes from the tiny plants, I complete the roof. So you can see here more or less is done. The landscape is okay, not finished yet. We have a couple of final touches. We have a few animals. Here we have a seagull, we have a butterfly, a couple of chickens, and we have a sheep over there. I have the sheep there, and I also wanted to add this. This is actually the helmet that used to be on this character when he was flying, and I thought it was funny to give that to the ship over here. On this side, we also have this jetty, so if any airship want to arrive over here and go into the lighthouse, they can do it from here. And the final touch is I have a tree. This is actually a birch tree. The target, the prompt of this category was create a seasonal build. So I decided to go for autumn, a fall build. So I have this birch tree that is built on a simple 4x4 green plate, connect to a jumper so I can give a nice angle. And then I have all these nice branches coming out in different directions. So the color scheme, of course, is this kit orange, orange, darker orange. We have also a little bit of darker color over there. Of course, I can rotate this to give the best possible view. Let me see if I can push this back a little bit. So we can see we have some different branches, horn pieces. I have some slopes at the bottom. I have some Technic parts. I have some sort of like droid body over there. A little bit of everything to have these branches opening up a little bit. And then, of course, I spread all the different leaves all the way around over here. We can turn it a little bit, so there are some area of this that has been a little bit extended to make it look nicer from different perspective when I took the picture. And I also added these olive green plants to cover mostly the anti-stud of these slopes, because I don't have the right slope for this work, except maybe these bigger rock pieces. But these one are actually having the underside, so they don't look very nice unless I cover them up with some plant like I did over here. It's not a perfect work, but it kind of do the job. Again, this one can be open a little bit so I can see there. Now, everything is very dark, but potentially, if I have to display this one, I could add light. Probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lights would be enough to cover this up. Now, I have a last final touch. Because this is a floating island in the sky, I want to give that impression that we have something in the sky. So I created two sort of micro-scale airships that are going to connect to those studs that you see at the beginning at the back of the tower. So one is going to be coming off on this side. That one is actually a shoulder pad from the recent D&D minifigure. That if you follow the channel, you know I have done a minifigure habitat for each one of those. That were featured this week on the Brothers Brick, so go and check it out, a very nice article. A little bit more complicated this one, and using this curve bar, trans clear as well. Now, I need to twist this a little bit to find the right connection. I have one of those new sort of jumper bricks over on this side. I have the angle stud. On top, I'm going to use this interesting kind of shoulder pad that is going to just be sitting there, and then this Technic piece will help keep in place. I don't know why this part has a axle at the end and not just a regular bar like the other one, so this is a bit annoying to connect stuff to. Ideally, this part should go in a wall, but then I cannot give the angle I want. Anyway, I managed to find this compromise. And then if you look at this from the front, it looks like we have two airships in the background, far away, flying around the sky of these wandering skies. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy this, even though it's not a perfect build. I hope you enjoy the building process of this. My members already saw this week in my Dreamers vlog. I apologize, the video is not perfect because this is a build way bigger than what I usually do, very small, so the quality of the background and the angle of the camera and my voice probably is not perfect because I have a very small space over here. But I hope you enjoy what I did here. If you do, please consider to leave a like, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel. And you can go and check out the build that I did for last year's contest, that was the Steampunk flying machine. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you on the next video. Ciao, ciao.